So on Monday, I finally hit upload for a video that I had been planning since January the 1st. And you might be wondering, why would it take me that long to be able to upload my first video if I had been planning it for that long? The first thing that I'll tell you right away is that it's not a feature film. So it's just a basic video. In fact, it's one of the worst videos that you will ever see on the internet. But why did it take me that long? And sorry, I have my notes here so that I do not ramble around. So the thing is, somebody said that the more intelligent you are, the more intelligent your excuses will be. So I had my own excuses. I had been living in my own head until Monday that I just pushed myself over the line. And I'm making these videos basically for those of you that might be in a similar situation or are planning to start a YouTube channel in the near future and do not know what to expect. You do not know how much you're going to sabotage yourself. And if it helps one of you, I'll be greatly fulfilled. So there are a few things that stop us from doing the things that we want. And specifically on this thing, I could just bundle all of them and say it's analysis paralysis or it's fear of failure. But I wanted to go a step down. I wanted to go a little bit in details and say, how do they practically, these things, analysis paralysis or fear of failure, how do they practically present themselves in my own thoughts? How do I think about them? And the first reason that I really struggled to start is the shiny object syndrome. You have been there, or you will be there. Is that you come on the internet and you find your friends, this friend is doing drop shipping, this friend is doing clipping, this friend is doing video editing, this friend is doing e-commerce, this friend is just doing entertainment content, and they're all doing well for themselves. And you think today, oh, drop shipping might be good for me today. Tomorrow you think making documentary videos might be good for me. And that in itself leads to decision fatigue, because more information does not necessarily mean a better decision. It has never been the case in my own life. I don't know if there is a science-backed research, but in my own life, more choices does not mean a better decision. So this is the thing that had been going on. I come online, I say, okay, I want to post videos on the internet, and then I find this friend is doing incredibly well for themselves, and they are doing one thing, and on that day I think to myself, oh, this is what I should be doing. Tomorrow I should be doing another thing. And you end up constantly moving between choices, and you really have no momentum. You just get decision fatigue, and you end up nowhere. If you are in that situation, I'll tell you not to overthink it. It almost doesn't matter what you start with, because most of the people that are on the internet today, if you go through their pages, most of the people that have not unlisted their videos, their old videos, you'll see that what they are doing today almost has nothing to do with what they started with. And that is because this is not an eternal commitment. It's not like marriage, that if you're married to this guy or this lady, then that's it forever. No, you will be able to change your plans in the future depending on how you feel, depending on how your vision changes. So you'll still be able to change what you want to do. So you don't really need to overthink it. The second thing is get some momentum. The moment you get some momentum, this is my second video this week, and the reason that I have been able to post more videos this week than I did for the last 8 months is because I have some momentum. So momentum is really good. Get some momentum and don't overthink it. More importantly though, the first videos that you'll be making on the internet, the first 50 or so, are just data points. They are just data points to show you what you enjoy doing, what the audience respond to, and you will use them to make an informed decision about what your next step should be. So this is the only way out. You just get some momentum and don't really overthink it. And the second reason is I was trying to fit it into the long-term plan, like 10-20 years from now. What am I going to be doing, and how does this thing fit into that plan? This is the worst way to think about things, simply because think about it this way. Look at a staircase. A staircase, you start with the first step, and then you don't see the end of the staircase. You don't see how it enters your apartment, or your, I don't know how you call it in your language. So you don't see that. But despite that fact, you still take the first step, and then you go second, and then you go third. You end up on the first floor. You might end up on the fourth floor. So you do not see the full picture at the beginning. It's just impossible. Ideas are not fully formed at the beginning. So what you just need to do is you just start, and then at the end of the day you will sit down, look back, and make an informed decision. Once again, you'll make an informed decision because you will have seen some progress at least, and then that progress will help you to at least project yourself forward by 1 or 2 months, or 3 or 4 months, or 5 months, or even a year. I do like planning long term, but I know it's a bad thing. If you do have, I'll caveat it this way though, if you do have your long term plan, and you know how this thing fits into that plan, well and good. That is the perfect situation. But if you are in a situation where you do not know what your long term plan is, and how this thing fits into that plan, then you really don't have any business planning for 5, 6, 7 years. You should just think about, okay, what is the best thing that I can do right now, or in this month, or next 4 months, to be able to put myself in a better position than I am right now. I think that is a much more practical way of approaching the situation than trying to plan for 5 years. So ideas are not fully formed at the beginning. They only get refined along the way. The third and the final reason why it took me so long to upload my first video is because I was waiting to feel ready. And I hate to break it to you, but ready is not a feeling. It's a decision. I know it sounds weird, but this in fact is true. It's true. Let's look at why we feel like we're not ready. And I'll run you through a very concrete example. A couple of months ago, I wanted to propose social media management services to local cafes and restaurants. And I haven't done it yet. Why? Because when I wanted to do that, my mind went ahead of me and looked at it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 months from now. If I start doing this, am I going to be able to get them the results that they want? And considering the skill level at which I was, I'm still at that level, by the way, I never would have guaranteed those results. And then my mind automatically says, okay, then you are not qualified to do this. And that's just how I ended up not doing it at all. I have never started. Here is an alternative scenario. If I had decided to start, regardless of how I felt, would I have been able to learn in the process and then get good at what I was doing and get the results? Of course, yes. I would have figured it out. But because I was waiting to feel ready, that's why I never did start. So here is the thing. I received a very good newsletter, and this is what I will leave with you. On Monday, I received a newsletter on this specific topic. And the newsletter says that there are 4 C's, and the order in which you take them is very, very important. The first C is commitment. The second C is courage. The third C is competence. And then the fourth C is confidence. The reason we do not feel ready is because we do not feel confident enough to be able to deliver the results that we want. So here is the mental model that I want you to keep. Confidence is not a prerequisite of the action. It is a result of the action. The second thing is, I think that the order of the first 2 C's is very important, commitment and courage. It's either you commit to doing something that is cringe, and you have the courage to keep doing that thing even if you are cringe. Or you could have the courage to commit to something that you are not good at. You will feel cringe, of course, but you are committed to doing that thing. And Alex Hormozi have the best definition of what commitment is. He says that commitment is the elimination of all other alternatives. So if you have the courage to start doing something despite feeling cringe, and then you keep doing that thing, you will eventually get competent and then confident. So here are 4 things that I will leave with you. The first thing is reduce the gap between idea and execution, because that's how you get momentum. Secondly, don't wait until you feel ready, because you never will. And then thirdly, you just have to start. Start unprepared, start imperfect, start ugly. And then finally, if you do start, then come and tag your video that you post in the comment section, and I will be your first subscriber. Good luck.